Welcome back to the review space. This is going to be my Smackdown live review of last night's Smackdown episode, August 30th, 2016. Right. So let's begin. Right off the bat, they aired The Miz working his shoot response to Daniel Bryan's criticism, that big thing that they had at, I think it was Talking Smack. And basically Daniel Bryan's criticism was that The Miz was too safe. You know, he was a coward in the ring, and his wrestling style is the safe WWE style. Basically, that got a big crowd reaction. I understand, I believe the video itself got lots and lots of views on WWE's YouTube channel. Then we see Shane McMahon with Daniel Bryan watching the particular segment, and then Shane O'Mac said Daniel Bryan owes Miz an apology, and hey, you can't get in the face of the talent. You know, you can't do that. But Daniel Bryan says, you know, it's ironic because Shane McMahon has a feud with Brock Lesnar, so, you know, who is he to criticize Daniel Bryan? And more storyline development. I mean, will we see a match between Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar in the future? Maybe. That's a possibility, but right now, I don't know where that's going. I don't know what's going to happen in that particular... It might lead up to a WrestleMania match. You never know. So, okay, we got The Miz and Dolph Ziggler having an in-ring promo. Ziggler basically challenging Miz to go right now because of the whole, you know, obviously the Daniel Bryan thing, and you know, Miz was really intense, and he was talking about how his style is what made him able to wrestle for a decade, for 10 years, without getting injured or getting seriously injured. Ziggler called him a coward, which seemed to trigger Miz into almost fighting Dolph Ziggler. But he was basically, Maurice was able to, you know, push him back, and they went back, headed to the back, and nothing really happened. There should be a fight between these two sometime in the future. There should be some kind of match. Dolph Ziggler against The Miz, maybe for the IC championship. And then we have AJ Styles. He's gloating inside the ring. He starts gloating, you know, bragging in the ring. He's got the freaking John Cena headband. It was actually the armband, but he's got it wrapped around his head, calling himself the new face that runs the place after defeating John Cena. Apollo Crews, he interrupted AJ Styles, and then they have a good match, very back and forth, very athletic. Apollo, he did like a moonsault from the apron onto AJ Styles to the outside. That was pretty cool. AJ, though, he got his finisher in, the frickin' springboard forearm. Phenomenal forearm, I think is what they call it. He got the win here, but it was a solid match between AJ and Apollo, two athletic dudes. It was cool. I liked it. You got Renee Young. She interviewed Heath Slater, but they were inside his trailer home. This was a weird segment. You know, I don't know if they were trying to make it comedic or trying to give Heath Slater more dimensions to his character. But he had his girl there, his wife or his girlfriend or whatever, and then Rhino was also there. He was eating crackers, putting like cheese whiz on it or something like that, and he didn't even say anything. He just kind of sat there, comedically, like his facial expressions, and he at one point he drew not a smiley face, a frowny face on the cracker, and he was eating, and the crowd actually, you know, started laughing when they saw it. So Rhino's just a funny dude. Like, he doesn't even have to try; he just has to, you know, sit there. But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny at times, but it just felt kind of pointless. Even with Rhino's quirks, it just felt like, okay, you're interviewing Heath Slater, and I don't know. I like Heath though. I think he's good on the mic. He's good at cutting. You know, he can be a funny dude, good at cutting promos. I like him. It's just this particular segment I felt like it could have been funnier and it could have been more entertaining. We see Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton cutting a back and forth promo regarding the match at Backlash. Okay, so this is basically probably going to be one of the more anticipated matches, at least for me, when it comes to Backlash, because I don't think we've never really seen these two go at it. You know, as far as like singles competition. I can't remember the last time they faced each other. I thought it was a good segment, good promo. Although I think at this point, like Bray Wyatt, his credibility feels a little bit damaged. After so many years of losing matches, and he's just been. He would lose all these big time matches, these pay-per-view after pay-per-view, and he even earlier this year with I think it was The Rock, he came in and he had a segment with the Wyatt family, and he squashed Rowan in like 8 seconds or something like that. So they're gonna have to build up Bray for. They're gonna have to build him back up, give him win after win after win, make him look strong, because he's still kind of popular. He's got a great entrance, great theme song. And he could be champion someday. It's just that they gotta fucking give him wins. And I hope that he beats Randy. Now, I don't know if he'll beat Randy. Maybe Randy, he's gonna get the win, and he's gonna, basically get the spotlight, and fucking Bray is gonna lose again. And I don't want that. I want them to build up the younger guys. I think Bray Wyatt has earned it. So. Naomi and Becky Lynch. They take on Alexa Bliss and Natalya in a tag team women's match. Nikki Bella was on guest commentary. I thought she did fine. Nikki Bella is actually, she's alright on the mic. She doesn't have like a strong voice. She doesn't have like great delivery, but she doesn't falter in her words. She doesn't like stumble or bumble her words or anything like that. So she's got good mic skills. And then Carmella attacked Nikki from behind. You got this Carmella versus Nikki thing going on. When Carmella, I guess she turned heel last week or something like that. She turned on Nikki. Nikki felt like a babyface anyway because she's returning. She came back. So she felt new and fresh. Carmella does better work, I think, when she's a heel. She just comes across more as a female prick, I guess. She's like a heelish character. Alexa was able to sneak a cheap win. She was able to. It might have been a schoolgirl thing. She grabbed the tights over Becky, so Becky got the. She was on the losing end of it. The heels look strong in the upcoming six-pack challenge for the inaugural Smackdown Women's Championship match at Backlash. So I'm looking forward to that. As far as the match itself, who I think will become the new Women's Champion. Wouldn't be surprised if it was Nikki, but I have a strong feeling that Alexa Bliss, she's got a good chance too, because they're pushing the hell out of her. She was on that cover of that Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine. I actually bought a copy of that just because Alexa Bliss was on it. And, yeah, she's hot. But I think she's also good in the ring. She's good. Like, her microphone skills is good. She's got a great look. Very pretty. She feels different, her theme song and everything. So I think that Alexa Bliss has a chance to become the first ever Women's SmackDown champion. If not at Backlash, somewhere down the road, she's definitely going to be one of those top female wrestlers, top divas or whatever. Rhino and Heath Slater facing off against the returning Headbangers. The Headbangers. These guys have been absent from WWE since like the early 2000s. I haven't seen these guys since I was like 13 years old. I'm 29. So it's been it's been forever. Mosh and Thrasher, man. They first won the WWE World Tag Team titles back in September 7th, 1997 at Ground Zero In Your House pay-per-view. And they held it for about a month, or like 28 days, something like that. So, as far as in-ring, they still move pretty good, fairly well. The spots, their finisher looked pretty good. So they looked like they haven't missed a step. They hung in there with their opponents. But of course, Rhino, he got the hot tag, and he hit his Gore finishing move, the Gore. Love that move. They got the pinfall, they got the win, they advanced. Heath Slater and Rhino moving on into the SmackDown's Tag Team Tournament at Backlash. And a part of me really wants them to win, because I think Heath Slater has earned a spot. Heath Slater has been getting cheered. His name has been getting chanted. People are chanting his name. He's never been this over. He's never been this is the most popular he's ever been. So they got to do something with him now, and I can't wait to see them. A part of me wants to see American Alpha win. I think American Alpha will probably win it. It would look good on them. Those tag team titles, those SmackDown tag team titles, look awesome. A big improvement over the old one that New Day has. You know, the bronze one, and they look like giant pennies, and they've been around for like 6 years. I always thought that they would look better in silver. So now it's like silver and blue. It looks way, way better. It looks awesome. I wish that was the main tag team titles. You know, on Raw, just for the past like 6-7 years. I wish that was the one that was the design to begin with. You know, from the beginning. All right, so then we have this random jobber, this jabroni named Gary Millman or something like that, the Milkman. And he was just wearing like regular clothing, or just like a suit and, you know, suit pants. And he was challenging the people at the back. He was like, yeah, alright, I'll take on anybody. You know, and people were like, who the hell are you? You know, who the hell is this guy? Like, he's not even a member of the roster. And then Kane comes out. The big red machine. Kane chokeslams the shit out of Gary. Just destroys him. So Kane was heading back towards the curtains. You know, he's going to go back. Baron Corbin's music hits. His theme song. And then they kind of cross path. So as Baron is walking towards the ring, Kane was walking to the back, heading to the back, and they kind of crossed paths. So it's kind of interesting because Baron Corbin does remind me a little bit of Kane. Just if not like his physical appearance, even his hair, his hairline, his facial features, he kind of looks like Kane, like a younger version of him, which is kind of interesting. Maybe in the future this is going to be a match, a feud, something like that. It'll be interesting to see Kane put over Baron Corbin, because I think, you know, Baron is like the next Kane or something like that. You know, he's the new Kane, the next big man. So that's pretty cool. Baron Corbin, he faced off against Dean Ambrose. This wasn't for the title, obviously, a non-title match. AJ Styles was on commentary. I thought it was a fairly boring match, maybe up until the end. You know, they tried to make it back and forth, tried to make it exciting, but for some reason, like Dean Ambrose, his matches haven't been exciting for me. You know, they don't hit it properly. There's something about it, psychologically, that I'm not invested in. I'm not invested in Dean Ambrose's in-ring matches. For some reason, his fucking clothesline that he does from the rope, the Nigel McGuinness pendulum lariat, pendulum clothesline, you know, certain moves that he does, it looks kind of cool, but it's like, I don't know what it is about Dean. It feels like his in-ring isn't compelling. And that's the problem. So even with somebody like Baron Corbin, that, you know, he has really cool moves. His finisher looks cool. He's, you know, pretty athletic guy. This match just didn't do anything for me. But the thing with Baron is Baron Corbin, he's good at taunting. He's good at jeering the crowd, and like, you know, those taunting moves that he does, and gloating. You know, he'll raise his hands and yell, "How do you feel now, huh?" Or he'll yell really loudly after doing a clothesline. You know, this is mannerisms. He comes across as a total heel, and the crowd reacts to him. They boo the hell out of him when he does that. So that's cool, and he's got a presence about him. So one day, I think this guy could be a future WWE champion. He's got the size, and he's got the look. At some point, AJ Styles gets involved in this match. He hits Baron Corbin with like a kick from the apron, and then the referee was able to see this, so he got a DQ win over Ambrose. Ambrose gets the technical losing, you know, the match. Typical for, you know, before a pay-per-view match, a special event match like this, the champion has to lose somehow, some way, because they're trying to build it up. You know, the challenger is like, oh, okay, that guy lost, so the challenger looks like he can win or whatever. So AJ Styles tries to hit Ambrose with a forearm. He gets crotched on the ropes. This was a little bit awkward. It took, you know, kind of a long moment. Ambrose shook the ropes a little bit for added comedy, and then he shook his hand, so the crowd was laughing along. But AJ was just overselling this fucking thing. You know, he crotched the rope. Like, he was just doing it for too long. He just sat there on the ropes for it seemed like a little bit too long. But still, Ambrose, he walked away looking strong somehow, even though he lost the match. Technically, it just felt like a routine match. So, and with kind of a weird off-kilter ending. So, overall, it's still a decent episode. I'd say Raw was a little bit better this week, though. I enjoyed Raw just a little bit better, especially with Ava Marie not being on SmackDown. She was one of my favorite parts of SmackDown, you know? And I totally miss her. So, I gotta give it to Raw this particular week. Raw was better. They got a new champion. More exciting segments. Alright, so that's it for this episode of Review Space. For more wrestling reviews, check out the channel. YouTube.com/TheReviewSpace. Check out my Raw review from yesterday. And my review of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn Part 2 and SummerSlam 2016. It's all in the channel. Until next time, peace.